Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 41, Seiko Busujima. Seiko. Kenichi said smilingly. Seiko came out from the dark alley. She had long, straight and shiny purple hair along with a triangular fringe at the front that barely touches the ridge of her nose, blue eyes, and sizable breasts. She is quite tall for a Japanese girl, and her relatively long limbs could contribute leverage to her powerful sword swings, as it was clear that she was one because she was carrying one on hanged in a bag on her shoulders. One of Seiko's physical features is her lips, which have a shiny pink appearance. She was so beautiful that no one was able to keep her eyes away from her. Even Hermit, who was getting out of there, stood on the building rooftop to see her. Ah! Such a beautiful lady, and I haven't brought my camera to take her pictures, Kensei-ma said. I am back, Kenichi-kun, Seiko said as she looked at him lovingly. Welcome back, Kenichi replied as he also looked at her with the same loving expression as her. Kenichi-kun, who is she? Myo asked, feeling a little perturbed. Oh. Are you by chance Myo? Seiko asked as she walked towards them. Yes, Myo said. Oh. You are so cute, Seiko said as she hugged her with her face landing on her breasts. Ah! Myo exclaimed in surprise. You are really, as Kenichi said, cute and lovable. Just these expressions of yours are so satisfying to look at, Seiko said as she continued to hug Myo and looked at her expression turning from shock then to complete red and shyness. Asterisk cough cough asterisk, Kenichi coughed up to trying taking the attention of the two girls. Seiko reluctantly let go of Myo because she was already able to understand the fact that Myo is still a little shy girl. Looks like she still hasn't been fully influenced by Kenichi's behavior, otherwise she wouldn't be like this. If Kenichi listened to her thoughts and would cry in injustice, saying that he is not a bad guy, just a big pervert. Kenichi couldn't hold back anymore after seeing his old lover in front of him, so he went towards her, held her waist by his left hand and pulled her towards him, kissing her directly. Everyone, no matter who it was, whether your Hermit who was looking at them from the building rooftop or Kensei-ma or Myo or the other friends of Kenichi, they were shocked by his impulsive action. But they were shocked more when they saw Seiko retuning the favor more aggressively by holding his head with her two delicate hands and using her tongue to wrapping his tongue. The two couple forgot about everything else around them and they only had each other in their view. Myo was blushing so much that her face looked like an apple, while the other boys were cursing Kenichi for taking another chic while they didn't have the chance to talk to her. They kept kissing each other for a long time and only separate when they had to absolutely breath. You huff, have improved, Kenichi, Seiko said while breathing heavily. Kenichi looked at Myo from the corner of his eyes and said, I have been practicing. Myo blushed once when she heard what Kenichi said. But those things aside, tell me, how are you here? I thought you wouldn't be back until graduation, Kenichi asked. I thought so too, but you see, Rukia was bored with her previous job and then she was offered a job here to be the instructor of the kendo club in the school, and since both of us wanted to meet you, she took the offer and we came back, Seiko replied. That's good. Which school is she going to be an instructor in? Kenichi asked. It's Koryo High School and I will be going to that school from tomorrow as well, Seiko replied. Really? Can there be any more coincidence like this? Kenichi said. Why you say so? Seiko asked. Well, because me and Myo know. Wait, almost all of us go to the same school as well, Kenichi replied. Ah. Good evening, Seiko-sama, all the followers standing behind Najima, who just came out of their shock, said. Ha! Seiko exclaimed in surprise, clearly not understanding the situation. These are Kenichi and his best friend Najima's subordinates from the Nishira gang that they have made together, Myo explained to Seiko for her understanding of the situation. Oh. Najima is still alive but still haven't gone back to his planet, Seiko said and looked at the guy standing in front of the so-called soldiers. Najima has also woken up from his stupor and started sweating as he hasn't forgotten the torture he has gone through in her hands.
Oh okay I will meet you in school Ken Kenichi said Nijima and ran in the opposite direction from Siko.
Boss, wait for us, said his goons and followed behind him. Ha 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 man, no matter what I do he doesn't fear me even a little while he always starts stuttering in front of you, Kenichi said while laughing. It's because you treat him as a friend and not an alien like me, Siko replied with a small smirk on her face. Takeda and Yukita felt a chill on their spine when they saw that smile of her. Oh okay Kenichi, we will be going as well and meet you tomorrow at school, said Takeda with Yukita nodding his head from behind him, and they hurriedly ran out from there.
Kenichi-kun, Myo said.
Oh. Sorry Myo, I forgot to introduce you to each other, Kenichi said, then signaled Siko to introduce herself. Hi Myo-san, my name's Siko Busujima, a sword art enthusiastic, and am also Kenichi-kun's girlfriend from middle school, which you must have already guessed, Siko said while bowing her head.
Oh, I am sorry.
My name is Myo replied, but was interrupted by Siko, who said, I know Myo Furinagi, a martial artist, and have a grandfather as a family. Kenichi told me about your meeting with him. Myo blushed when she remembered about her and Kenichi's first meeting, as that was where their fate entwined with each other.
Chapter 42, Siko and Kenichi's Past 1.
Okay, I will be going for no and will meet you tomorrow at school then. Bye bye Kenichi, bye bye Myo, Siko said and waved her hands as she started walking away from there. Bye Siko-san, Myo said and waved her hands as well. Bye Siko, I will see you tomorrow then, Kenichi said and took Myo's hand and started walking back. Let's go back. I know you want to know about us and I will tell you when we reach the dojo, Kenichi said while pulling Myo to walk with her. Myo's heart fluttered as Kenichi was able to understand the questions going on her mind without even her telling them. Hermit, who was looking at this from the rooftop, shook his head and went away as well.
Ryo Zanpaku Dojo.
Kenichi and Mo returned back alone as Kensei Ma returned before them, so they had a lot of time to talk, which Kenichi used to make sure that Myo doesn't feel any negative emotions cause of his and Siko's past. After the dinner, Kenichi and Myo were sitting on the dojo's rooftop with both of them holding each other's hands tightly. Okay, now I am going to tell you how I met her and how our relationship became what it is right now, Kenichi said. Flashback. 2 years ago, when Kenichi was a second-year middle school student. He had just finished his recent fight as Son Goku in the underground battle arena and was going towards his home when he saw the back of a girl with purple hairs holding a sword tightly with his body and a fat man following behind her. Kenichi was able to understand what the situation was, so he followed behind them to stop the fat man when he tries to molest the girl. After some time, the girl stopped walking, then turned herself and started shivering. Looking at her becoming so weak, the fat man couldn't control himself and started walking hurriedly in her direction. Kenichi, who was hiding behind the wall, saw this and was able to conclude that the girl was doing it intentionally so that when the man comes close to her she will have a legitimate reason to beat the shit out of her.
Man!
This girl is crazy, Kenichi thought, and ran towards them to save the fat man from the dangerous girl. Just as the fat man was going to touch her, Kenichi knocked him out by a chop on his neck. As the fatty was knocked out, Kenichi saw the girl holding his sword ready to swing it at any moment. The purple hair girl was shocked to see someone coming for her rescue and destroying her plan, but didn't show it on her face, then smiled weakly and said, "Thank you for saving me."
I wasn't saving you, Kenichi said.
Huh, the girl exclaimed in surprise.
I was saving him from you,
Kenichi said as he pointed at the unconscious fatty.
What do you mean by that? The girl asked.
Kenichi took her hand and said, "From these calluses it can be seen that you have been using swords from early age, but you were shivering right now, making yourself look weak in front of this fatty, encouraging him to attack you so that you could retaliate in self-defense, and I am pretty sure you would have broken his bones." The girl pulled her hands back in shock as she wasn't able to react when he took her hand and that he was able to see through her plans.
"Who is there?"
A voice came, and a policeman holding a torch and a baton came from a corner. The policeman looked at the unconscious fatty, then the two kids, and asked, "What happened here?" "Nothing much, officer. This fatty tried to molest this girl here, so I knocked him out," Kenichi replied.
"Is that what happened?" the policeman asked from the girl.
The girl nodded her head like a woodpecker, unable to say anything. "Okay, then tell me, what is your name, both of you, and your contact information?" policeman asked.
"Kenichi Shirahama, Gaia Middle School," Kenichi replied.
Seiko Busujima, Gaia Middle School as well, Seiko replied. Kenichi turned her head and while looking at her, he thought so that's why she looked like someone I have seen, Seiko Busujima. Then that means this must be the person who got himself badly beaten by her in HOTD before the storyline and she always felt guilty cause of it.
I just saved her from doing something bad.
Then since you two are from the same school, can you send the lady home, young man, as I will have to take care of this molester, said the policeman. Sure, officer, Kenichi replied, then looked at Seiko and asked, where do you live? 3rd Street, 6th block, Seiko replied. Okay, let's go, Kenichi said to Seiko, then looked at the policeman and said, thank you for your hard work, officer.
No problem, it's my job, kid, the policeman said.
Kenichi then started walking towards the 3RF Street with Seiko following behind him.
Why did you do that? Kenichi asked from Seiko but didn't got any reply.
Was it because you had so much strength but weren't able to use them, so tried this method, Kenichi said as he turned his head and looked at her. Seiko shivered when she heard Kenichi's words as he was able to guess what she was thinking so accurately. Looks like I was right, Kenichi said, turning his head in the front after seeing her reaction. Then let me tell you what would have happened if I wasn't fat. He would have numerous bones broken in his body, making him a patient in a hospital for at least a year along with a mental trauma for life, and you would have started feeling guilty after some time when you got to know your mistakes. In short, I not only saved him but I also saved you from a lot of guilt, Kenichi explained. Seiko's eyes were full of tears as she understood that she almost made a big mistake. Kenichi looked at her and saw that she almost cried, so he stopped reprimanding her and said, if you need to release that strength of yours, then you can come to me tomorrow after school. I will take you to a place where the more strength you have the better.
Chapter 43, Seiko and Kenichi's Past 2.
If you need to release that strength of yours, then you can come to me tomorrow after school. I will take you to a place where the more strength you have the better. After Kenichi said this piece, he didn't open his mouth for the rest of the walk towards her home, leaving her to cry a little by herself. As they reached the 6th block, Kenichi said, okay, since we have reached her, I am sure you can go back from here. Seiko, a shout came from a distance. Kenichi turned to look at the person responsible for it but saw a woman with large boobs, like really large, looking exactly like Ranjiko Matsumoto. She has long and wavy blonde hair, blue eyes, full lips, and a beauty mark located under the right side of her. Has a great curvaceous figure, of which her most distinctive trait is her very large breasts, wearing a kendo dress, running towards him carrying her kendo sword. You bastard, how dare you make my Seiko cry, the woman shouted. It swinged the kendo sword at him. Whoosh *, the speed of the sword was so fast that it was cutting the wind. What the F-? Kenichi wanted to curse but stopped in between as he had to save his life from the fast kendo sword coming at his face. He jumped backwards to dodge the sword. The woman though was shocked that someone was able to dodge her sword attack, though it was not her full strength, but still it was enough to take down a master-class martial artist. She didn't stop there but kept on swinging her sword at Kenichi, who couldn't even complain as he didn't even have the time to breathe from the attacks, let alone complain.
Rukia, stop, what are you doing? Seiko shouted when she saw Rukia continuously attacking Kenichi.
Rukia finally stopped after hearing Seiko shout continuously. Why are you stopping me from punishing the guy who made you cry? She asked. You. Are you what they say, legendary big boobs and no brain women? Kenichi said, pointing at her breasts when he saw them jiggle every time she moved, which was of Kenichi's taste, but of course he won't tell her that.
What?
You. I will kill you, Rukia said as she covered her breasts with one hand and swinged the sword with the other. Rukia, stop, he is the person who saved me, Seiko shouted. Rukia stopped when she heard that he saved Seiko but was confused, since when did Seiko needed saving, she thought, and gave a look to Seiko. I will tell you everything when we are in our house, let's go, don't trouble Kenichi, he came here to drop me off.
I will see you tomorrow, Kenichi, Seiko said and signaled Rukia to come back.
Okay, I will see you tomorrow, bye, he said and started walking in the same direction he came from.
Rukia then entered their house, then gave Seiko an inquiring gaze. This is what happened.
Seiko explained the whole situation to Rukia, how she acted weak to let the fatty attack him so she could retaliate, how Kenichi came and knocked him, and how he saved her from making a big mistake. After hearing what Seiko said, Rukia at first was angry at her but then sighed in relief that she didn't committed the mistake and realized that she was wrong, and finally felt bad that she tried to hurt Seiko's benefactor.
Why didn't you told me about this earlier? I almost hurt your benefactor. Rukia asked. What? Can you be any more unreasonable? When did you give me a chance to explain? The moment you saw him, you attacked him. Siko said. Ah.
Leave it, just say sorry to him in my stead or bring here so I can say it, Rukia said as she lies on the sofa. Siko shook her head and said, no need, I will say it in your stead. And can you stop being so lazy? Come on, you already half a step grandmaster but are still so lazy, otherwise you would have become a full grandmaster by now.
It's not like I will reach it, 'cause I want to.
If I have to become one then it will naturally come to me, said Rukia. It's not a man that will come to you naturally, Siko said sarcastically.
Hey!
That hurts, Rukia said, making a sad face. It should, Siko said as she entered her room. On the way to his house, Kenichi was thinking Siko and Rukia are here means there may be more characters from different stories. Interesting, at least I won't know what comes next all the time. Thinking till this, Kenichi took out his cell phone and called a number.
Ring, ring. The cell phone ringed and someone picked up the phone.
Haruo, it's me, Kenichi said.
Ha! Kenichi, what happened?
Why did you call me at this time? Haruo asked.
Well, it's because I wanted you to check something, or more like check someone out, Kenichi said. Oh. You want information on someone that's new? Who is this person? Haruo said.
One is Siko Busujima from our school, a member of Kendo Club maybe.
You know her? Kenichi asked.
Yes, she is the captain of Kendo Club and is quite famous in both boys and girls, Haruo said.
Good, then the other girl is Rukia.
Though I don't know her second name, but she lives with Siko, so she must be a relative of her, Kenichi said. Rukia, though I don't know her, but I will be able to gather all the information you need about her by lunchtime tomorrow, Haruo said. That's great, then meet me at rooftop during lunchtime tomorrow with all the information you have on them, Kenichi said. Okay, by then, Haruo replied. Bye, Kenichi said and disconnected the phone and thought, let's how different you are, Rukia, from my big-breasted goddess Ranjiku Matsumoto.
Chapter 44, Siko and Kenichi's Past 3.
After resting for a night, Kenichi went to his school. Even though he already knows everything there is to be learned here, he always attends the school just for his parents' sake. Kenichi attended the classes but started sleeping through them as none of the subjects thought were interesting to him. None of the teachers disturbed his sleep, as whenever they asked him a question, he would solve the answers within seconds, making them unable to point fingers at him. After the first half of the classes were over, he went to the rooftop where was waiting for him. So do you have the information I need, Haruo? Kenichi asked.
Yes, Kenichi, Naijima said and took out his tablet.
Kenichi sat on the ground to listen to Naijima's report. Siko Busujima, captain of the Kendo Club in our school, winner of the all-girls Kendo Championship under 16.
Siko is shown to be a kind, caring, strong and very reliable persona.
She is very calm and collected, to an almost frightening degree, almost never freaking out or losing her cool in combat.
Siko, following her familial samurai lineage, strictly follows what can be interpreted as Bushido code.
Her character, behavioral patterns, and frequent sayings, e.g. it's a man's decision after all, provides evidence of her strict following of Bushido code. Female role model for girls and an untouchable person for the boys, she is the top-tier beauty in our school. She is much famous than you, man.
Wait a minute, when did I become famous? Kenichi interrupted Naijima.
You do know that if you said that you want to join a club, then more than half of the school's club will run after you to make you join them, Naijima said.
Ha! When did that happen? Kenichi asked.
****, you should be aware of your surroundings, man. The first year of middle school you crushed whatever sports you played, whether it was against club members or anyone else. Kenichi thought for a few minutes, then said, oh yeah, I remembered about that, but it wasn't my fault, man. They kept on challenging me, so I just beat them so thoroughly that they won't ask for it again. Yeah, and those who played against you left their club and stopped playing for some time to come out of the shock you gave them, Naijima said. Kenichi was dumbfounded to hear such a news, as he never thought that his strength will make others to almost develop a phobia. Before you ask, let me tell you that the reason no one's come after you to join their club is because in your first year after beating all the players you would go back to your class to take a nap, so those who wanted to make you join there came to your class, but the ones who entered your class and woke you up to ask you to join their club were the captains of judo club and karate club. Since you didn't like to get disturbed in your sleep and that those two idiots woke you up roughly, they got their ass handed by you and got thrown out of the class, Naijima explained. Yes, I remembered something like that, and I also remembered that I said don't irritate me again, otherwise it won't end so easily, something like that, Kenichi said. Yes, and after that no one came after you to ask you to join their club, Naijima said. Okay, is there anything else about Siko that most of the people don't know, or maybe a rumor or something, Kenichi asked. I was coming to that actually. Siko reveals sadistic tendencies while fighting, often smiling whenever she's in combat. It can be assumed that Siko's existential conflict manifests itself by cloaking her troubled, sadistic, malevolent, and violent nature with the facade of a well-mannered and cultured young woman. Naijima said. Okay, I understand. Don't let this news leak at all, and make sure the sources from where you heard this news doesn't make trouble, Kenichi ordered. Don't worry, I already took care of it. He won't tell anyone if he doesn't want to get ostracized by the whole school, as no one would believe him, as I would make sure of it, Naijima said. Good, so what do you have on Rukia? Kenichi asked. Well, this girl's name is Rukia Busujima and she is Siko Busujima's stepsister, and other than their love for kendo they can't be more different than the other, Naijima said. Ha! Interesting, continue, Kenichi said. Rukia Busujima, a college student at Kohei University and the captain of Kendo Club of the college, a big-breasted blonde beauty, height 172 cm, 5 feet 7 inches, weight 57 kilograms, 126 pounds. She is also the goddess of her college, but that's where her and Siko's similarities end, tends to be a slacker who dislikes paperwork and loves to drink. She is not the slightest bit modest about her appearance, frequently referring or complaining about her large breasts in normal casual conversation, much to the embarrassment/amusement of anyone around at the time. She is not above using her considerable feminine charms to get her way. In fact, she would even consider stripping naked if no one compliments her on her outfit, regardless of how skimpy it may be. But cough cough. Cough cough asterisk. Kenichi, who was drinking his canned juice, squirted it out and started coughing violently after hearing Naijima's last piece of news. What the hell? Where did you get such a piece of news? Said Kenichi while massaged his chest. It was floating around her college, but none of them had the guts to not compliment her dress, as she always looks so good that they can't stop themselves from complimenting her, Naijima said. We will see about that, but seriously, one is a hard-working girl who almost made a mistake yesterday, while the other is lazy one who wouldn't have made such a mistake as the previous one. Then doesn't that mean that the lazy one is better than the hardworker, thought Kenichi, then looked at Naijima and asked, is there more things about Rukia that I need to know? Naijima smiled and said, of course there is. Chapter 45, Siko and Kenichi's Past 4. Naijima smiled and said, of course there is. Her easygoing and free-spirited personality makes a sharp contrast to the serious Siko, but the two seem to be quite close regardless. As an elder sister, she is extremely casual around her, almost constantly by her side and showing deep loyalty to her on several occasions, even though her laziness frequently annoys Siko. Kenichi smiled as he remembered yesterday's incident where he was almost beaten black and blue just cause Siko was crying beside him. While she seems somewhat self-centered, she is sensitive to the feelings of others, best shown in the National Kendo Championship. Rukia's favorite food is dried persimmon, just like that of Ikemaru. She dislikes bamboo shoots because she finds their taste too strong and their texture unpleasant. She likes Japanese dancing, and in addition to her kendo clothes, she enjoys buying superfluous amounts of clothing from various department stores. When she feels like drinking, she finds free people and invites them to come out with her, and then has them treat her to drinks, so that she wouldn't have to spend any money. Naijima told the rest of the information about Rukia to Kenichi. I have to give it to you, Naijima, only in half a day you were able to collect so much information on them. If you had been given more time, I am sure you even would have found out how many different colored underwears they have and what they are wearing today, Kenichi said while pinching the start of his nose bridge. Naijima didn't reply to this and only gave a grin filled with confidence to Kenichi. Kenichi stood up and said, today Siko will also be coming with us to the underground arena for a fight, so don't do something that will make her come after you. What? Why? Naijima asked in shock. You will see when you meet her. Kenichi replied. Naijima thought for a few minutes, then asked, are you sure that she won't get hurt there, cause no matter what, that isn't a place for normal people.
Whether she can or cannot, it will be her decision to make, not ours, Kenichi said as he went towards the rooftop door. Where are you going now? Naijima asked.
Ha! What do you mean by that? Of course I am gonna attend the next class, Kenichi replied.
Naijima shook his head and thought, what is the need to even attend classes when all you are going to do is sleep in them? After school. Kenichi followed by Naijima were going out of the school, but they saw Siko waiting for them at the school gate. Hi! Ryusujima-san, were you waiting for me here? Kenichi asked.
Yes. And please call me Siko, Shirahama-san, and my sister wanted to say sorry to jump on you last night, Siko said.
It's alright, she was just being protective of you, nothing wrong with that, and you should also call me Kenichi, Siko-san, Kenichi replied. Wait a minute, last night, Naijima interrupted. Siko looked at the boy following Kenichi, whom she haven't seen before, and was shocked to see such a face which looked more like mask than a real face. Nothing important, Haruo, Kenichi said, then continued, now let me first introduce you to each other. This guy with the devil face is Naijima Haruo, a member of newspaper club, and you already know about Siko, right, Haruo? Haruo nods his head and said, I will be going now, Kenichi, and will meet you in the Hudson parking lot in the evening. After that he left Kenichi alone with the dangerous sadistic women. Kenichi smiled as he was able to understand what was going on in his head, but Siko interrupted his thought process as she said, so how are you going to help me? Well, I was just gonna help you release the beast at the right place, Kenichi said. Where? Siko asked. The same place Haruo just mentioned, Hudson parking lot. You can even bring a real katana if you like, Kenichi said. What is that place? Asked Siko. It's an underground fighting arena, so if you are sure of your strength only then you should come, Kenichi said, after which he started walking towards the direction of his house to let Siko decide on her own. After contemplating for some time, Siko also left the school grounds towards her house with a smile on her face. Hudson parking lot. Kenichi and Naijima had already reached there and were waiting for Siko to show up. Are you sure she will come, Kenichi? Cause I don't think just anyone will like to enter the underground arena just to satisfy their desire to fight, Naijima asked. Maybe she will or maybe she won't, but since I have asked her to come I will at least wait here for her for some time, Kenichi replied. As they were talking to each other they heard the sound of boots clinking with the ground making noise. Kenichi looked at the direction from where the noise was coming and his breathing got hitched. Siko was standing in front of him wearing high anklets boots, gray shorts, thigh-high stockings, and black tank top with her hair tied in a single ponytail with her katana strapped on her waist. Sorry, did I keep you waiting, Kenichi? Siko asked with a smile on his face as she walked close towards Kenichi. Looking at her sexy and seductive body, Kenichi thought, oh fuck. I think I am gonna become a criminal tonight. Chapter 46, Siko and Kenichi's Past 5. Siko smiled as she saw Kenichi's reaction, making her feel proud of herself. Even though she doesn't say it, as a girl with such great beauty she has a pride, but Kenichi didn't look like he was affected much, so just to make him feel a little something she dressed like this. Let's go, I want to see this underground arena you were talking about. Siko said. What? Ah. Yes, let's go, said Kenichi, coming out of his dazed state. Wait. Kenichi, are you going to let her go like that? Naijima asked. What do you mean by that? Siko asked with a tint of coldness in her voice, making Naijima feel a chill down his spine. Please don't take it the wrong way, I was just asking him this because he wears a mask while he fights, and if he had prepared one for you as well, Naijima explained. Yes, Haruo is right, I have brought a mask for you to wear and almost forgot to give it to you, Kenichi said as he took out a silver-colored mask while handing it to Siko. He said, earlier I was thinking if it will suit you or not, but I am sure that right now this will look good on you. Siko took the mask and wore it. Unlike Kenichi's mask that covered his whole face, Siko's mask only covered half of her face. The mask has a beak covering Siko's nose while the rest of the face from her mouth was there for everyone to see. Kenichi felt like if he looked at her for some time more he won't be able to control himself from kissing her, so he turned his head to a side and said, the mask is Falcon Mask, you can use that as your stage name if you like. Falcon. That's a nice name, I will use it then, thank you, Kenichi, Siko said as she gave a smile towards Kenichi, but he didn't even look, making her feel sad, unknown to her that Kenichi was already controlling himself from not attacking her. As they entered the underground arena, Kenichi also wore his mask. Just as someone saw him with his mask they started shouting, it's Sun Wukong, he is here.
Sun Wukong, Sun Wukong, Sun Wukong. People started chanting his name just as they saw him. Kenichi handed Najima a stack of money and said, "Go to the betting counter after they select an opponent for me while I will help Siko to get registered and find an opponent for her as well." Najima nodded his head, took the money from him and went towards the betting counter. "You do betting as well?" asked Siko. "Yes, I bet on myself just to get change for my daily needs. You should bet as well as it will help you to earn some more." "Nothing wrong with it," Kenichi said as he took Siko her towards the registration counter. "Mr. Sun Wukong, what can I do for you?" asked the registrar. "I wanted help my friend to register for a fight as well," Kenichi said. "Oh. Then please let me be of service. What is the name she is going to use?" registrar asked. Falcon Siko replied. "Okay, your fight will be in 30 minutes right after Wukong and your opponent is called Boulder," registrar said. "Boulder? Isn't that the guy whom I fought for the first time?" Kenichi asked. "Yes, sir has a great memory. He came back after taking a break for half a year," registrar said. "Then it would be easy for you to win your first match." Falcon, Kenichi said while looking at Siko. "Your match is next, Mr. Sun Wukong. It's against Viper," registrar said. "Viper? A new guy?" Kenichi asked. "Not a new guy per se, he has been coming from 3 months now but only comes once a week, that is on Sunday, on which you never came before. This is the first time he came on a weekday, hence the first both of you will be meeting each other," registrar said. "Oh. Interesting. Has he lost any matches before?" asked Kenichi. "No, he is like you in this aspect, not losing a single match up till now," replied registrar. "Really? Then this is going to be interesting," Kenichi said as he started walking towards the ring. Siko was standing on a corner looking at him when she saw Haruo coming towards her, so she looked at him and asked, "Since when were the both of you coming here?" "From the first day of the school. Kenichi asked me to find this place and after that we started coming here where he let loose himself," Najima replied. Kenichi entered the ring with basking in the cheering of his fans, and in front of him was a guy dressed in green with a snake mask on him. "I didn't know that there was someone like you who came here on weekends, otherwise I myself would have met you earlier," Kenichi said. "It's alright, I knew about you, that's why I came on a weekday to fight you," Viper said and went into his fighting stance. "Oh. Snake-style martial arts is it?" Kenichi asked as he looked at Viper's fighting stance, where both of his hands were making a snake instead of a fist. "Correct, but this is my own creation, I call it Snake in the Eagle's Shadow." Hearing that line, Kenichi blurted out a name and surprised Jackie Chan. Chapter 47, Siko and Kenichi's Past 6. "Jackie Chan. Who?" "Jackie Chan, stop spouting nonsense and fight," said Viper as he ran towards Kenichi. Vipers attacked Kenichi with his arms twisting in a weird motion like a snake and his hand made a claw shape going for Kenichi's neck. Kenichi did a backflip to dodge Viper's attack, creating a distance between the two of them. Viper didn't stop there and continued to attack Kenichi, who effortlessly dodged all his attacks with his incredible speed. "Your attacks are good and they even have great power in it, but you are not far enough to land a hit," Kenichi said. "Or it is that you are too good at running 'cause you scared of me," Viper sarcastically remarked. Kenichi shook his head and said, "You are not the only with moves, I have few of my own as well." Saying this much, he went into fighting stance looking at Viper, who was already ready for the fight. Kenichi ran towards him and just as he was few meters away from him he vanished from Viper's vision. "He is fast," thought Viper in shock. "From the above," he said and looked above him to find no one. "You should better understand your surroundings," Kenichi said while crouching right below Viper as he kicked him at his chest. Bomb! The kick connected with Viper's chest, throwing him up in the air 5 to 6 meters above. Kenichi jumped as well, following behind him. "This is my one of the favorites, though a copy, Lion's Barrage," he shouts as he spins his body and kicks Viper's body down to the ground. Bang! Viper fell on the ground and was knocked out cold without making a sound. Whoa! The audience started shouting crazily as even though this match was fast-paced it had some high-level moves. Sun Wukong used martial arts to beat his opponent instead of raw power. "Did you guys see that his attack was fat and decisive?" commentator shouted. "Sun Wukong, Sun Wukong, Sun Wukong, Sun Wukong." The audience went mad and continuously shouted his name even though he wasn't even there anymore. He already left the moment his opponent lost. Kenichi went to the inconspicuous corner which Najima had found. "Well done, Kenichi. I have already brought the winning amount from the bets we placed, here it is, Nijima said as he handed a stack of money to Kenichi. Kenichi didn't look at the money and directly kept it in his pocket. Then he looked at Siko and said, the guy you will be fighting has a big body but isn't fast much, so you will be able to deal with him. Siko nodded her head and started walking towards the ring. People were in hype when they saw the fight against Sun Wukong and Viper, but when they Siko a girl walking towards the ring, they weren't sure that she would be able to keep that hype in motion. As she entered the ring, she saw the big guy in front of her who was smiling while looking at her and said with a lewd smile, I don't like to hurt delicate things, so it would be better if you get out of the ring on your own. After that we can fight on a bet if you want. Hearing his words, Siko gave a cold smile, making people with great perception feel a chill down their spine and felt sorry for Boulder. I only left him in the bed for half a year, but now the things Siko will do to her, even I feel sorry for him, Kenichi said. Siko ran towards Boulder with her hands holding to her katana. Looking at her coming towards him, Boulder smirked and punched at her direction. Siko swayed her body to her left, dodging the incoming punch. The swinged the sword at his leg, hitting him straight at his knee. "Aha!" shouted Boulder in pain as he went down on his knees. Siko, still smirking, didn't stop her attacks as she went straight for his ribs, breaking them as well, making Boulder cry in pain again as he crouched down while holding at both his injuries. Seeing him in this position, Siko next attacked him on his shoulders, dislocating them. "Aha!" Boulder cried pain and started wailing as well, but Siko didn't went easy on him and finally attacked him on his head. Fishy slowly fell on the ground unconscious as blood came out from his head like a fountain and fell on the ground. Some it fell on Siko's face, which still had a smile on her face, but it slowly faded when she saw Boulder's condition. The audience went mad and started chanting her name as well, Falcon, Falcon, Falcon. The medics came and took Boulder's body. Siko went towards Kenichi, who was still standing in the corner along with a shivering Nijima. "Kenichi," she said like she was in a pain. Kenichi took hold of her hand and walked out of the underground arena towards her house. While on the way, Siko didn't say anything but just gripped her sword tightly with one of her hands while the other one still being pulled by Kenichi. As they came closer to get house, Kenichi let go of her hand, then looked at her and asked, "How do you feel after your fight today?" Siko froze and couldn't reply anything to him but slowly started crying. "Don't keep it inside, Siko, tell me," Kenichi said. "I am Monster Kenichi. I was enjoying when I saw him in pain and didn't stop until I was satisfied. I don't deserve happiness, I don't deserve family, I don't deserve love," Siko rambled while crying. "Siko! Siko!" Kenichi said, trying to take her attention from herself but wasn't successful. Siko kept on crying and tried to run away from Kenichi but was stopped by Kenichi as he held her wrist and pulled her towards himself. Siko fell on his embrace and was kissed by him, shocking her so much that she opened her mouth, allowing Kenichi to enter his tongue in her mouth as he took advantage of her. After kissing for a few minutes, they parted from each other while panting slowly. "You are not a monster who doesn't deserve happiness, family, and love, just a little sadistic woman, that's all you are, and if you ever thought that you don't deserve them, then I will be there to make you feel all of these emotions," a smiling Kenichi declared. Chapter 48, Siko and Kenichi's Past Final. "You are not a monster who doesn't deserve happiness, family, and love, just a little sadistic woman, that's all you are, and if you ever thought that you don't deserve them, then I will be there to make you feel all of these emotions," a smiling Kenichi declared. But what I did to him," a blushing Siko was saying, but was interrupted by Kenichi. "Was nothing wrong, do you hear me? If you don't believe, let's check how much time will be taken to heal them, okay? Knee fracture 2 months, broken ribs 3 months, dislocated shoulder 2 months, and finally the head injury will 3 to 4 months if his skull is injured badly, that's all, and if we add the psychological injury it will take 2 months. So in total it will only take him 6 months to completely heal from his injuries, the same amount of time it took for him when he fought against him," Kenichi explained. "How is that possible?" Siko asked in surprise, totally forgetting about the kiss. "It is true, that's why he only came back 6 months before this," Kenichi said. "How do you know all the time it takes to heal from the injuries?" asked Siko. "Well, I don't have control over my strength, but I try to gauge the eye injury I cause my opponent so as to learn how to control it, and I am successful in it, otherwise that Viper guy would have died from my attack that time," Kenichi explained. Siko had her mouth open in O shape when she heard how much Kenichi tries to learn on his own and control himself to not hurt others, whereas she, who has been learning her sword heart since young, has strayed from her path. "Kenichi!" Siko called him. "Yes, what happened?" Siko asked Kenichi.
How should I deal with my situation?
Help me in controlling this side of me, Kenichi Siko asked.
No problem, Siko. I would have helped you even if you didn't ask me to, replied Kenichi.
Thank you, Kenichi, Siko said with a sweet smile. Seeing the smile of her, Kenichi, who have already tasted her strawberry lips, couldn't control himself and dived to kiss those lips again.
MMNPH. Siko, with her lips being kissed by, tried to speak but couldn't as an unstoppable but soft tongue entered her mouth, sucking and playing with her tongue.
Slowly she also reciprocated the kiss back to Kenichi as she used both her hands around his neck, holding his body close to her as they kissed. The kiss lasted for 10 to 15 minutes, after which they parted from each other with ragged breathing. Let's go, I will drop you to your house, said Kenichi while holding Siko's hand with his cheeks having a tint of red hue. Siko nodded her head as her whole face was red as tomato. As they walked towards her house, both of them kept their mouths shut, not talking to each other, and only when they reached her house Kenichi said, Siko, what I did may have been my teenage hormones getting the better of me, but I do have feelings for you, so wanted to tell you that you may not be my only girl, as I have made a promise to someone in my childhood that we will be together, and if you don't like it I promise I won't do anything untoward towards you. Listening him, Siko smiled and said, It's okay, I know that I won't be able to keep a great man such as you to myself, as my mother always told me that men with great ambitions have many girls, and if I don't want to she my man them I should go for an ordinary man, which I won't, and the promise that you made should be completed. It's a man's decision after all. Kenichi smiled when he heard Siko's acceptance and hugged her, but couldn't enjoy it much as he heard a shout, same as yesterday.
Siko!
Shouted Rukia, who came home late after her tournament ended.
Hi!
Big boobs no brain, how are you? Kenichi said after letting go of Siko.
What?
You, Rukia shouted in anger, with her face becoming red due to anger and humiliation. Stand right there, Rukia, you haven't said sorry to him, that's why he is still angry at you. And Kenichi, please don't call my sister like that, she really doesn't like when people call her an idiot, Siko said, trying to meditate between the two.
Okay, I am sorry for yesterday and thank you for helping my sister, Rukia said.
It's fine, I also won't call you big boobs and no brain again, Kenichi said.
Yeah, you can call me big boobs, I won't mind, but you say that I have no brain again, then it won't end well for you, Rukia said.
Kenichi was struck speechless, unable to say anything at all after he heard Rukia's reply.
I
should go back now since your sister is here, saying so Kenichi ran from there as he didn't want to talk much with Rukia when he just got together with her sister. Maybe, definitely sometime in the future I will see really how big they are, Kenichi thought.
Flashback end.
Just like this we came together, I helped her with her sadistic personality, slowly becoming more close, where we started to share everything. She told me about her family and so did I, along with other things such as you, and how our promise was made. Though she had to leave the town in the third year due to Rukia getting a job out of town, and since their parents weren't in the country she followed her and now she is back with her, Kenichi said to Mio.
Then why is that Nijima-san is afraid of Siko-san?
She isn't the type to hurt her friends, right? Asked Mio.
Yeah, well somehow Siko for to know that Haruo collected information on her which she didn't like, and what she did to him is still unknown to me, as whenever I asked both of them Siko would only give me a mysterious smile while Nijima starts to shudder and gets a high fever, Kenichi said.
Oh.
Then it must have been a secret between the two of them. Mio said.
Kenichi smiled when he heard what Mio's thoughts and said, yeah, maybe.
Chapter 49, Hermit?
Kenichi smiled when he heard what Mio's thoughts and said, yeah, maybe. Okay, it's already being delayed today, so I am going to go back and sleep. By Kenichi-kun, Mio said as she jumped down the roof. By Mio, Kenichi replied as he himself jumped down as well.
Next morning.
Koryo High School. Kenichi and Mo reached there and were sitting in their first class of the day when their class teacher came and said, today we have a new student who will be joining you all from now on. Siko, please come and introduce yourself. Mio perked her ears when she heard the name and looked towards the door from which entered the purple-haired beauty, making Mio smile at her, which she reciprocated with her own. Hi, my name is Siko Busujima and I will be joining you from now onwards, so please take care of me, Siko said.
Okay, Siko, you can sit behind Kenichi, the teacher said after the introduction was completed. Siko smiled and nodded her head, then went to sit behind Kenichi.
Every boy in the class was becoming jealous of him, as in his front was sitting Mio while behind him was Siko, both of whom were top-class beauties.
On the other hand, Kenichi didn't feel anything about that, as he was the boyfriend of both the girls, which if got known by everyone will make him the enemy of every guy who is still single. The classes as always were boring, but the interesting thing came during the break when Haruo entered Kenichi's class shouting his name, Kenichi. Kenichi! What the hell happened to you, Haruo, that you became so flustered? Asked Kenichi. Ugh. Haruo was going to say something but saw Siko was also there and got scared of his wits, unable to speak anymore. Kenichi saw him getting scared of Siko, then shook his head and said, "Don't worry, Haruo, she won't do anything to you, just tell me what do you wanted to say." Yeah, Hermit the Sixth Fist of Ragnarok was trying to information about you, such as where did you learn your martial arts from and all. Najima said. Where did you meet this guy? Asked Kenichi. Well, when I was taking a stroll with our new soldiers in the morning around our school, he came to us and asked this question. You don't know how I saved everyone and myself from him, Najima said. So you are still planning to play with this Nishira group? Asked Kenichi, though he knew the answer. Of course, this group has been formed through our blood and tears, Kenichi. How can we abandon it like that? Said Najima. Who, your blood and tears is it? Siko interjected. Yeah. I will be going now, Kenichi, said Najima, and he ran from there like a flash. No matter what anyone says, the speed at which this guy runs, no one will be able to catch him, Kenichi commented, to which Siko and Myo nodded their heads in acceptance. Kenichi, my sister was asking you to meet her when you have the time, Siko said. Okay, Siko, I will meet her this weekend, after my meeting, said Kenichi. What meeting, Kenichi? Asked Myo. Oh. Nothing much, Myo, just someone I meet once a month, Kenichi replied. This guy is really kind-hearted, Myo. The person he meets is a little girl who has been sick for some time and he meets her to take away her boredom, Siko said. Wow, who is this girl, Kenichi? I also want to meet her, Myo asked. I just met her when I was young and kept meeting her till now, and since you want to meet her, then you can come with me this weekend then, you as well, Siko, Kenichi said. Yes, Kenichi, replied Myo. Of course, Siko said with a small simile on her face. Okay, and one more thing, she only has a big brother as a family, so don't mention about her family, okay, Kenichi said. Myo's face went dim when she heard that the girl didn't even had an elder left in the family and nodded her head along with Siko, after which Kenichi didn't said much and enjoyed the company of the girls with him. During the time Myo and Siko went to their club, Kenichi also went to gardening club where he saw Takeda and Yukita waiting for him. What happened, guys? Asked Kenichi. Nothing much, Kenichi. Yukita just wanted to say thank you to you, that's all, said Takeda. Shut up, I am only saying this because you said that's the right thing to do at a time like this, Yukita said. It's alright, Yukita, I already understand that you are grateful to me, so don't force yourself to it, Kenichi said. I will definitely repay you someday. Wash your neck thoroughly and wait, Yukita said. He hasn't really gotten the lack of this, so keep an eye for him, Takeda explained. Kenichi smiled and said I will. After school. Ragnarok Base, Kazara's hideout. Damn it. Kazara said as she kicked the punching bag, destroying it in a single kick. That dairy cow, I am not gonna leave her alone next time, said Kazara. Ha ha. Kazara-sama is fired up, isn't she, because she lost to that blonde girl, said a laughing Koga while sitting on a side. Oi. It's not a laughing matter, Koga said a guy beside him. But before Koga could reply to him, he got kicked on his face by Kazara, who said, Shut up, you bastard, all of you are useless. Kazara-sama, there is an order from Hermit-sama saying from now on leave the Nishira group alone, Shiratori said. What, why? Asked Kazara. Don't know, but that's the order from above, said Shiratori. Fine, but find that dairy cow for me. He hasn't said anything about the specific dairy cow, right? Kazara said. Yeah, probably not, Shiratori replied. Kazara nodded her head and said good, then I am gonna teach her a good lesson, then it will be the turn of Shirahama. Kenichi, that bastard, I am gonna beat the shit out of him. Chapter 50, Juliet? After school ended, Najima straight away went to Ryo Zanpaku Dojo to meet Kenichi and also collect information about the martial arts teacher of Kenichi. Standing in front of the dojo gate, I tried to open it but couldn't push the door, but it opened suddenly from the inside. Kick, I shouted a scared Najima as the door opened on its own, but saw a woman standing on the door and thought, a really attractive woman she is, maybe that's the reason Kenichi started living here. I am Kenichi's friend, said Najima.
Come in, Shigure said as she putted her katana in her back.
Wah, thank you, Najima said while he thought a real katana. Traditional dress. A rat. And people call me weird. But still, this place is really old style, thought Najima while walking inside the dojo, and as he was looking around himself he didn't pay attention in front where a 7 feet tall man was standing crashing onto him. Ah!
Who has kept this pole in between the road? Najima said while massaging his head to look at the thing he crashed.
Hi! I am Apachai said.
Aha! Shouted Najima as he started to run towards the gate of the dojo, but before he could get out of there Shigure came in front of him standing upside down on the roof and said while pointing in a direction, "It's the wrong way, that's the way."
Kra!
Najima shouted seeing her standing upside down like that and ran away from there. But just as he got away from there he saw Sakaki breaking wooden poles with circular width of his waist.
Eek, it's a ghost, Najima shouted and ran from there.
Then he saw Akase making statues and ran away shouting yokai. But he again crashed with Apachai and got backed away in a wall where he got surrounded by everyone in the Ryozanpaku dojo.
Yokai! All of them are yokai, thought Najima.
Ha! Haruo, what are you doing here? Came a voice from the side where Kenichi was standing.
Kenichi!
Help me, they want to eat me, save me, damn it, Najima said as he ran behind Kenichi.
Who asked you to come here then?
I am sorry, masters, but please distance yourself from him, this guy is really scared of you, said Kenichi with the second half of the speech directed towards the Ryozanpaku members. Hearing Kenichi's words everyone went away from there, leaving Haruo alone with Kenichi.
Wah!
Kenichi, you have already subdued so many strong people already.
Najima said.
Shut up, they are my masters, you idiot, Kenichi said and went away from there as well, not wanting to do anything with his idioticness. The next day Najima was telling Kenichi all the information he has gathered on Hermit, which though Kenichi already knew but couldn't tell him about it. As they entered the class both of them saw a handsome blonde guy taking to meal whom Kenichi identified as Natsu Tanimoto aka Hermit.
I know that guy, let me tell you what I know about him, said Najima as he took out his tablet.
Ah, here he is, a mainstay in the handsome idols section in my school ranking. That guy's good at sports, superb grades, both the things which you have, except that he is a star in the theater department. Since you are the aloof type guy, his popularity is more than you, Najima said.
Aloof? Me, since when?
Asked the confused Kenichi as he has never given a child's shoulder to anyone if they come to talk to him. Of course, that's thanks to me, since you didn't like to be disturbed much in middle school. I spreaded the rumors that you don't like to be disturbed by others and an aloof guy, Najima explained. Kenichi deadpanned hearing Najima's explanation, almost beating the fit to death, but controlled himself to not do so but leave him for Siko, who would be good at giving lessons to him.
Kenichi!
As he was just thinking about her, Kenichi heard her calling his name from behind him and saw Siko standing at the classroom door. Seeing her, Kenichi had a smile on his face while Najima had already started shivering in fear.
Who is that guy beside Myo? Asked Siko. Some Natsu Tanimoto, but why is here? We will have to check about it. Kenichi replied. Okay, then let's go and meet him, Siko said.
Kenichi nodded his head and along with Siko went towards Myo while Najima, who was shivering up till now, took this chance and ran out of the class.
Ah, Kenichi. Siko.
Myo said as she saw them walking towards her. Hello, you must be Kenichi Shirahama. I have heard a lot about you and I have to say most of the things I heard looks to be true. I am Natsu Tanimoto, Tanimoto said. Maybe, but I don't if half of the rumors are true, but what I have heard about yourself isn't less, said Kenichi as he shook hands with Tanimoto. You must be the new student Siko Busujima who just transferred yesterday and became the ace of the kendo club. Is nice to meet you, Tanimoto said as he turned his head towards Siko.
Hello, nice to meet you too, Siko replied.
It seems that the theater club is severely lacking members.
He wants me to play the role of Juliet. I don't really want to stand out or anything, so I wanted to ask the advice of you too.
Myo explained the reason for Tanimoto meeting her. If you want to, you should participate in it, Myo said Siko.
Yes, it's high school, Myo, and we should enjoy it as much as we can, Kenichi added.
Thank you, you too, Myo said to the two of them, then turned to Tanimoto and said, okay, Tanimoto, I will become the Juliet.
Great, then I will ask someone to pass the dialogues before the school ends, Tanimoto said, and then went away from there.
Looking at his back, Kenichi thought, how have you changed, Tanimoto? I really want to know that. That wraps up this part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama.
Thanks so much for listening.
As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well.
See you in the next one.